Hi, everyone. Welcome back, and good to see you today. And me and Letty, we're here to talk about something that actually caught our attention and very, very interesting. It's very interesting, but we want to actually put our views into it, right, Letty? Our
Yeah.
views of, how really we have changed the way we see these things which we call and the world has called disasters, these odd things happening in the world now, and there's a lot of them. So say flooding, cyclones, shootings, earthquakes, war, um the balloons. So it's like we were talking about it. I was like, should we really talk about it? But then it came to our awareness, and we thought, yeah, let's just talk about it and let's just put our perspective into it, the way
Mm.
that we see it from we try and see it from above the battleground, right?
Right.
Um, First things first, let me just talk about the balloons, and everyone hopefully would know what I mean by the balloons. It was hanging around and spying on us, apparently. Well, I just saw it on my YouTube feed. I don't know when it was, a week ago, but it was just, I wasn't really listening to the whole video of it. It was like balloons, okay, spy, uh, the CH1. And then I thought, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't have any opinion about it. So I just let it go. And then it came again into my awareness, and it came back again. And then as I was looking at it on the headline, Jesus came and told me that really don't believe that, because really balloons, like whatever happened to cyber attacks, I was like, yeah, sure. We've let go of using birds as messengers, and now balloons, even though, maybe they would say it's all high tech and it's like unseen and undetectable by whatever
Mhm.
the military does. I don't know, because I've never looked at the videos. But he's saying that these are all illusions. These are all trying to get your attention. And these are all wanting you to focus on them and to be fearful. See, that's the key, is to be fearful about it versus looking at it and deciding for yourself, this is an illusion. It's not true. And I don't want this to happen in my reality. It's not my reality. So, and that's how I actually viewed it with Jesus' help. And he said, they're not, they are there to, this is what he said, right? They're there to make you look the other way because they're trying to hide something.
Mhm.
And I thought,
Distraction.
yes, I thought, what are they trying to hide? And I thought, or maybe he said, I'm confused now, whether it's him or me. But
Mhm.
then it's the our friends from other worlds, they're here to show themselves if your frequency is up to their
High enough.
frequency. Yeah. So the UFOs that we talk about. So
Yeah.
I think there's a lot more of apparent sightings of UFOs or something weird up in the sky. I think there's a lot more of that. So then I thought,
Mhm.
yeah, it makes sense. And so, hey, I don't want that in my reality. These balloons and the conspiracy that goes with it and the stories that go with it of war with another country, or, all of that. We really don't want that.
Mm.
Um, and so we're just here to share our perspective on it. And that's how we start looking at things like this now. So,
Well,
Letty?
and exactly. And I agree with you, Irene. Thank you for that introduction, guys. So here's the thing. Okay. At the end of the day, we are spiritual beings having a human experience. And you don't know what you don't know until you know. And I know that sounds kind of like, whoo, what are you trying to say, Leti? But honestly, truthfully, it's not that I have my head in the sand. I've been in broadcast media for 25 years. And That's TV, that's radio, that's whatever. Now there's digital. And I don't watch television. I'm probably the only account executive in the history of the world who sells broadcast media, right? Advertising, and I don't watch TV. Um, but guys, there's a grid. I know what the programming is. I know when it's coming on and the time and the this and the that. I don't need to watch it to sell it. And what that means also is I don't need to watch it to know what's happening in the world. I can be in the world, but not of the world. And so I think, like Irene was talking about, I don't want the distraction. My own life is a distraction, right? Doing my hair every day is a distraction. So if I were to focus on everything that's happening out in the world, I'm just gonna be a sad mess. I'm gonna be upset. I'm gonna be angry or really depressed, about what's happening in with the balloons, what's happening up in the sky, what's happening. Did they shoot down my galactic friends? Oh my, probably not. I doubt it. But also, yeah, but also, I know there's a lot happening in the world. The earthquakes in Syria and Turkey, and my light goes there. But I don't bring that sadness in, not because I don't have compassion. I do. And I send all of my loving energy to all of those people and all the shootings that are happening in the college campuses, right? That is also something that's very hard to understand and get your head around. However, if my world, if my sanctuary and my house, my mind, my heart, if I am in alignment with love and faith and light and compassion and just sending out as much as I can, I would rather do that than let that all of that sadness and negativity come in. Because once I allow it in, then I'm going to be a hot mess. Then I'm going to be sad. I'm not going to get out of bed. I'm going to feel bad for the world. How am I'm going to have aches and pains. My body will tell me, wait, why are we absorbing all this negative energy? We can't take it, mom. My body's going to say, dude, come on, but also that just puts a person into that feeling of hopelessness. And that hopeless energy affects the world you're living in. It affects everything in your own home, how you relate to your husband or your wife or your children or the dog or the birds, right? In my case. And I want to protect that. My home is my sanctuary. My home is my sanctuary also. And this is where my soul is. My body is part of this, is housing my soul, right? But actually, my soul is letting the body house it. But really, in reality, I'm not any good to anyone if I am down in the battleground with it. I would much rather hold the line, show compassion, be loving, and send that light out, send strength, send love, send compassion, right? And not bring in fear and anger and pissed offness or frustration or deep sadness. Because then I'm going to add to that collective energy. I'm not I'm not doing any good to anyone if I go, oh, yes, let's do 2 cups of sadness, 3 cups of fear, 2 tablespoons of anxiety. And when I make my own little bomb, and now I have it in my own house, and then I'm spewing it out even more, right? I'm not going to add to that. So it's a hard concept because we're taught to have, um, I think society in our culture, we've been taught to feel bad for everything. Oh, I
Mm-hmm.
feel so sorry for you. Oh my gosh, I feel so bad for you. You poor thing. Don't call me poor thing. I don't want it. No, that's not, I don't want that poor energy coming toward me, right? Which is, now I don't complain as much as I probably did 20 years ago because I don't want that kind of energy coming at me. I would rather say, yeah, hey, things are good. I'm okay. Oh, good. That's great. I'm so happy for you. Great. Give me your happiness. Just keep
Yeah.
piling it on. You see what, does that make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense. And, we're talking like this, but
Yeah.
in our everyday life, we are still trying to practice these things.
Yeah.
We are just sharing what we're trying to do ourselves as well,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, if you if somebody tells you, this came to me like a few weeks ago. um if somebody tells you, I feel depressed, I feel sad because this thing happened to me, and all that, which is very common because of the traumatic past that you and me and a lot of people have gone through, right? But how do you receive that in your spirit state, in your aligned state? Is, I realized that if you support their illusion, because it's mainly an illusion, being sad, being depressed, being traumatized, being bullied, or whatever happened to you in the past, that's all a false belief. Therefore, it is an illusion. And if you tell that to your friend, and that friend says, "Oh, you poor thing, so how did that happen?" and da da da, and all that, that friend is unwittingly supporting that illusion, and therefore it
Yeah.
becomes bigger, which is true for everything. What we put our attention to, we make it bigger. So put your attention to, say, a nice Tesla. you can you might manifest that. Depends on
Right.
how truly you believe that, right? So
Right.
I'm just saying that, I mean, hey, I want to manifest a new car, for example. But it is very challenging at this stage to actually 100% focus on that. So, what we can do, and what I can do, is to practice it every day, on every moment. Correct yourself and say, just like training a dog.
Yeah.
The moment you want the dog to stay there, to stay. And the moment the dog, you see that the dog is turning the other way, you immediately say, "Hey," and then he pays attention again, and eventually
Right.
he will learn very, very quickly. He will
Right.
learn. I think it's the same as manifesting something, like, or getting rid of a false belief. The moment you start thinking about being sad or being depressed or whatever it is, then you stop yourself. Hey, that's not what I want to happen in my life. This is what I want to happen. So you focus on what you want.
Exactly. And I think
Yeah.
that's one of the reasons, and you said it best. You just said it perfectly. We do try to practice this, guys. I mean, I don't think that I'm like the rock star over here. I have my own freakouts, let me tell you. But that's my point, is we have our own illusion in our own mind, right? I don't need to add stuff that's happening across the universe, across the world, that I can't control, right? I don't want to add that into the mix when I'm already dealing with my own illusions, my own false beliefs, correcting the way I feel about myself in this world. How am I showing up in the world? How do I feel love's presence in my experience? How am I being love's presence? How am I
Mhm.
going to participate in that way? Right. So, when all this stuff comes, I get the phone call, right? I get that phone call from one of somebody who say, "Did you hear?" And I'm Mexican. Okay. So in case you guys didn't know, I am Latina, and we are the most dramatic culture in the world. I mean, just like everything, God, it's just so novela. And so when I get the phone call, like, "Did you hear what?" I have to really like, and believe me, I'm getting better, getting easier. At first I would be like, "What? Oh my God." And I would completely jump into the pool, right, of emotion and reaction, and then talk shit about it for half an hour, talk and talk and talk. Now I just go, "Oh, no, I didn't hear about that. You know what? But hey, I'll call you back in 5 minutes." And then I just take a minute, right? Sometimes I can't do that, obviously, but I try to just not jump into that emotional volcano where I'm going to get absorbed, because I already have my own volcano called menopause. No, just kidding. But I already have enough, right, in my own experience that I'm working on, right? My own colorful moments that I need to figure out. And so I think, yeah, there has been a lot happening collectively. Irene and I both are aware, you know, and how we choose to support love in the world and increase that love energy in the world is by not engaging in the distraction.
And I just remember what one of the channelings of the Guardians last year is they said, I don't know in what context they were talking about, but they said whatever happens in the macrocosm happens in the microcosm. So whatever's happening that you're seeing out in the world is happening within you. And you're actually the director and everything of what you see around you. So they always remind us, and Spirit always reminds us to whatever you see that you don't like, then put it inside of you and think, oh, how am I shooting myself, for example? Or how am I flooding myself with things that I don't want anymore? Something like that. Something like that. Always apply it to yourself. I would say it's very challenging. I mean, I'm going through lots of stuff and like, what? I thought I've gotten rid of this, but here's another layer of this thing because, well, there's a lot of fear. And I think everything is fear based, right?
Yeah.
So,
well, and that's
once we stop being in fear of everything, fear of, being seen as this, fear of losing material things, it's then we probably will be able to see a lot clearer.
Well, and you know what, guys, I think, and I can only speak for myself, but every day is its own journey. Every day is its own universe. I mean, and so I don't tackle anything. I try not to. I try not to go backwards. And that I learned that lesson this last, couple months that we weren't recording. A lot came into my experience that I had to kind of just really, really take a look at, right? Talk about balloons. I mean, I had a bunch of them. It's like, Jesus, like a globe trotter event. I mean, it was just like all these, what do they
it's
have?
Like balloon festival.
Yeah, they have the balloon festival like in New Mexico, right? And I know in Mexico they do that.
They do that everywhere.
I had my own balloon festival, okay, in my own head. And so it was every day was an opportunity. Like, oh, look at it, there's this newbie balloon. Oh my God, there's square, SpongeBob balloon. I mean, it was just all these different characters coming in, and I had to figure out how to navigate. And guys, here's the thing. This is I don't know if this is coming into my head, but what is a hot air balloon filled with? Hot air.
Yeah.
So practice discernment also. There are things that are natural. The natural disasters we know happen. That's not even, of course, you're not going to say, well, that didn't happen. But, all the other things that are happening in the world, just practice discernment and also, protect your thoughts, protect your mind, protect your sanctuary, your own house, your own physical house and your proverbial house. And we're all here to just support each other. I think Irene and I both, are very mindful of that. And that's what this channel is for.
Yeah. That's good. Great. So thank you and hope, so whatever you think, please do comment. And we love seeing comments, whatever it is that you feel, I guess,
Yeah.
It would be good to know, would be good to express yourself.
Yeah.
And as we are expressing ourselves in this way. So thank you, Leti. And
You're
thanks
welcome.
everyone for
Thank
watching.
You, Sister Irene. You're welcome. Thank you, everyone. Please hit subscribe so that you get the most updated videos from Irene and I and from our Lightworkers 5.0. We're all in this together, guys. It takes the universe at this point to get through all this. God bless you. Namaste.
Bye.